Is it okay to dislike your parents? For many Indians, even asking this question creates guilt because we are taught that parents are equal to God. Family is everything. And a good son or daughter should never feel anger towards their mother or father. But therapy rooms tell a different story. In an Indian review paper on adverse childhood experiences, one study across colleges found out that out of 936 participants, 5 out of 10 had been mocked for their physical appearance, 4 out of 10 had been called idiots, and 3 out of 10 had been blamed for things that they were not even felt were their mistakes. So when an adult says, I love my parents, but I don't like being around them, that sentence does not shock me. As a therapist, I hear this all the time. And no, disliking your parents does not automatically make you selfish, ungrateful, or disrespectful. Sometimes dislike is not hatred. Sometimes it is your nervous system saying, this relationship has not felt safe for a very long time. So today let's talk honestly about toxic parenting in India, why adult children feel so much guilt, and what you can practically do if being around your parents affects your mental health. But before we talk about what to do, first we must understand why this feeling can be so confusing. This feeling becomes confusing because most parents are not toxic all the time. They may have sacrificed for you, paid for your fees, cared for you when you were sick, and genuinely wanted you to have a better life. And still, unknowingly, they may have hurt you emotionally. This is the part that many people struggle to accept. A parent can love you and still shame you and humiliate you at the same time. A parent can provide for you and still control you. A parent can protect you from the outside world and still make the home feel so unsafe. That is why many adult children feel torn. One part says they did so much for me and they had all the right intentions. And another part says, but I never felt emotionally safe with them. I'm so scared of them. I'm so angry at them. And I even hate them. Both of this can exist together. Both can be true. The goal is not to label your parents as villains, as toxic, as abusers. The goal is to understand what happened to you, because unless and until you understand the pattern, you will keep blaming yourself for your reaction. And once you start looking at the pattern clearly, you will realize that toxic parenting does not always look dramatic from outside. Toxic parenting is not only physical violence. UNICEF India clearly says violence against children can be physical, emotional, or sexual, and it can happen at home, often from people that the children trust, including parents and caregivers. So yes, emotional harm, emotional abuse, and emotional neglect also matter a lot. Sometimes toxic parenting looks like constant criticism in the name of improvement. You could have done better. Look at your cousin. Why are you like this? Oh my God, you've brought shame to me. Sometimes it looks like shame in the name of discipline. Comments about your body, your marks, your personality, your career, your marriage, or your choices. Sometimes it looks like emotional blackmail in the name of love. We did everything for you and look what you couldn't even pass your maths grades properly. After all this, how could you treat us like this? If you do this, we will die, we will not live, etc. And sometimes it looks like control in the name of guidance, where your career, your partner, your clothes, your friendships and lifestyle all become family decisions except your own life. The problem is that many of these things are normalized in Indian homes. So the child grows up thinking, maybe I'm too sensitive, maybe the problem is with me, maybe everybody's family is like this. But emotional pain does not become healthy just because it is common. Emotional abuse, emotional neglect, all of this is normalized. It happens everywhere, but that does not mean it is okay. And when this pain continues for years, the child may not always say, I'm hurt. Sometimes they simply start feeling dislike, or they start distancing from their parents. Many adult children do not dislike their parents because of one argument. They dislike the emotional experience of being around them. They dislike the feeling of being judged, of becoming defensive. They dislike how one phone call can create guilt for the whole day. They dislike how their body becomes tense before visiting home. This is important to understand. Sometimes you do not hate your parents as human beings, but you just hate what you become when you are around them. You become scared, angry, silent, guilty, or just like a child again. And that is why people avoid calling parents, they avoid visiting them, they stop sharing details, or they keep just very transactional, surface level relationship with the parents. But remember, avoidance is not always arrogance. Sometimes avoidance is self-protection. If this feels personal, stay with this video because the next part is important. Remember, dislike is a feeling, but how you respond to that dislike is where the healing begins. Because all of this is true, all of it is fair, but just by understanding all of this, it's not going to heal your relationship. The first thing is stop judging the feeling that you're going through immediately. If you feel anger, resentment, discomfort, or dislike for a parent, ask yourself, what is this feeling trying to tell me? Maybe it is telling you that a boundary was crossed. Maybe it is telling you you are tired of being controlled. Maybe it is telling you that you are still waiting for an apology from your parent that you never received. The second thing is to separate respect from surrender. You can speak respectfully and still say no. You can care about your parents and still not share every detail of your life. You can be grateful for everything they did for you and still accept that some things that they did were not right and they damaged you. Respect does not mean emotional slavery. The third thing is to create boundaries that match your reality. For one person, the boundary may be, I will not discuss or ask permission about my marriage, or I will not be forced into marriage by my parents. For someone else, it may be, I will end the call if the conversation becomes abusive or toxic. And for a third person, it may be, I will visit, but I will not get too much involved in the family drama. A boundary is not a punishment. A boundary is a way to protect your own mental health. But here is something I'm seeing more and more in my therapy room that worries me. Boundary is not a wall. The idea of boundary is slowly being confused with the idea of cutting out the parents completely. Many adult children today are using therapy language to block their parents out of their life, and they call it healing. Awareness was meant to help you understand your parents better, not to erase them from your story. Awareness is meant to heal relationships, not to break them. A boundary should keep the relationship alive while protecting your peace, instead of completely ending the relationship in the name of therapy, healing, and growth. There is a real difference between creating distance from genuine abuse and just shutting out parents who are emotionally immature but still willing to learn. Remember that blaming, shaming, blocking off your parents, creating walls does not heal you, and it does not even heal the parent. Neither does it heal your relationship. Awareness should always lead to change. Awareness needs to lead to healing, and awareness needs to lead to a positive change in a relationship. If your hurt has been deep, if it has been repeated, support outside the family becomes important, because you may not be able to heal inside the same system that hurt you. And that support could be therapy, a support group, a mentor, or an emotionally mature person who can help you see things clearly. There is one more question that people ask. What if my parents hit me? Wasn't that normal in our generation? No, hitting is not harmless just because it was normal. Just because everybody got hit doesn't mean it is okay. WHO says corporal punishment has no positive outcomes, and it is linked with physical and mental ill health, poor socio-economic development, increased aggression, damaged family relationships. Just because you survived that beating doesn't mean it has not affected you. You may have developed very smart coping mechanisms to work around that hurt and that abuse. So if you were hit, humiliated, threatened, or constantly shamed, and today you struggle to feel close to your parents, that reaction did not come from nowhere. But this also does not mean that every difficult relationship needs a complete cutoff. Somewhere, the relationship improves when boundaries become clear. Sometimes a little distance creates more peace than constant fighting. But if there's ongoing abuse, severe manipulation, threats, violence, or emotional damage affecting your daily life, then in very few cases, distance is required, but distance with information, distance with communication that this is what I'm doing and this is why I'm doing this, versus just completely blocking off the parents. This is survival. Make that decision with clarity, not from one angry triggered moment. Make it with support after understanding the pattern. The goal is healing. And there is also one last thing you need to keep in mind. The parents who have abused you, the parents who have manipulated you, controlled you, have also been children at some point in their life. Children who may have gone through very toxic parenting, abusive parenting, but back then when they were children, they neither had the awareness nor had the tools to change it. But you have the awareness and you have the tools. So it is sometimes important to acknowledge that people who hurt and abuse are themselves also hurt and abused children. So is it okay to dislike your parents? Yes, the feeling itself is not wrong, but what matters is what you do with it. Do not use that hurt, pain, and awareness to become cruel, to become judgmental, to label, but also do not use guilt to silence your own pain. You can love your parents and still admit that they hurt you. You can respect them, take care of them, and still protect yourself. You can be grateful for everything that they did and still decide that you will not accept certain emotional abuse in your life. This is how you can break the generational pattern, not by pretending that everything was okay, but by finally telling the truth with awareness. And remember, patterns do not break by breaking relationships. Patterns break by working on yourself with awareness and with compassion. And if you want to understand how Indian parenting patterns like comparison, shame, guilt, emotional invalidation, and control get passed on from one generation to the next, I have made a video on challenges of Indian parenting. Click on this link. In that video, I've talked about where these patterns come from, why they feel so normal in Indian homes, and how we can start breaking them. I will see you in the next video.